Good evening, everyone. It is Bridget here from Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, the home of healthy, delicious. Wishing you a wonderful day wherever it is you are in the world, and whatever it is you may be doing. I hope you are well, and I hope you are safe. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Cooking Healthy. We are cooking healthy. That's what we do here in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, and the healthiness that we're going to be cooking today is what I like to think of as a bit of a folly. So it's a bit of fun. It's something that you may have never thought you could do with an avocado, and that is create avocado crackers. I know, a bit of a crazy idea, but why not, right? Because avocados have got to be one of the most versatile ingredients that we have in our healthy arsenal, and they are a superfood, so they're so incredibly good for us. They're incredibly versatile, and here's another wonderful thing that we can do with avocado, and that's create some really delicious and really fun crackers. So that's our recipe for today. Uses a few ingredients. Of course, there's no gluten in there, there is no sugar in there, and there is a bit of dairy though. So this one around, not for the lactose intolerant folk, but definitely worthwhile getting involved with. I know you're going to enjoy it. They taste so good. It's really hard to stop at one, so I do warn you. I do put this as a little bit of a warning, but it's a good healthy warning, isn't it? Because as you guys know, avocados are really, really good for our gut health. They're really high in fiber. They've got good fats in them, which are monounsaturated fats, so really good for our brain, really good for our heart health as well. They are wonderful at helping to grow the healthy bacteria that live in our gut and call us home. Really high in vitamin K and all sorts of other vitamins. So without further ado, let's get into the recipe. Come on down to the bench and let's make some avocado crackers. It's a quick recipe, so I like to say when it's a quick recipe, don't blink because you might miss it. It's a good one. Right, so I'm going to be doing everything straight into my little food processor today, just to make things a bit easier. You can do this with a fork if you want to and just mash it up, but if you've got a food processor, it definitely makes your job way easier. So with my avocado here, you want it to be ripe, but obviously not too brown. But even if it is a little bit past, its real sort of optimum eating time, you can definitely just get away if you've got a little. See, I've got a few brown spots in there, and I'm totally fine with that because everything's going to get blended up. So what you're looking to do, and I'm doing this all onto my scales as well, which makes it nice and easy, is you want to scoop out the flesh of your avocado, and I'm looking for 100 grams of flesh, hence why I'm weighing everything straight onto my scales. And would you believe that was exactly 50 grams? So 100 grams, 3.5 ounces, so that half an avocado, they're quite small, weighs about, weighed exactly 50. So that should, there you go, 103 grams, yeah, thereabouts, right? So for every 100 grams of avocado flesh, because you might have big avocados, you want to add to every 100 grams of that flesh, you want to add the cheese portion. And the cheese that I'm using today, check this out. This is a aged Gouda. You can see by the color, just look at how fabulous that is. Got this from Costco, and I believe it was a 20-month-old Gouda. So really nice flavor, smells really good. And when it comes to the type of cheese that you want to add in here, you want to go for an aged cheese, because aged cheese, especially if they're a hard cheese, are way better for your gut health. Like they really help your gut to have a lovely diverse amount of healthy bacteria in it. So we're going to go for an aged cheese. You can use Gouda like I have. You could also use Parmesan cheese, of course, or even if you wanted to, a really nice vintage cheddar would work in this. And you're looking for about 60 grams, which is 2 ounces of cheese. So 60 grams, I'm just going to weigh it off. Yeah, just under 53. So I'm going to cheat and just add a few to make up to my 60 or my 2 ounces. I'm just going to add a little bit more. So yeah, 60 grams. You decide the cheese. Like I said, this is the most beautiful aged Gouda. Just absolutely in love with it, and it just tastes so fantastic. But feel free to use a good quality Parmesan cheese, or as I said, or a nice vintage cheddar. You just want to go for something that's aged, because remember, an aged cheese and a hard cheese, really good for your gut bacteria. So we're going to grate away, or we're going to break away, I should say. And just on your grater, you don't have to be too careful because it's going to go into the processor, of course. So we're going to get even more things grated in there. And if you come down to that little bit and you're like, I might grate my fingers, I'll show you how you can get away with that. So just grate away. You could do this with a microplane if you have it, but you want to get them fairly small, because even though the food processor will work to break it up, you've done pretty much all the hard work for it anyways, just to make sure it's nice and even. So that goes straight into our machine. I've already weighed it off, so I know it's just on 60 grams or 2 ounces of cheese. And the cheese that you choose will obviously determine the flavor as well. So, don't be afraid to play around with your favorite type of hard cheese. And for these ends, because I don't want to grate my fingers, just chop them up, pretty small. They can go in there. Don't waste the cheese. Don't, whatever you do. Oh my gosh, that's just like blasphemy. We don't waste cheese in this house. Every little bit is going to get used up. So that is the base of our mix. The only other thing we're going to be adding into, a few other things, is we're going to be adding, I think I've got cheese in my hair, I just realized. I'm going to be adding a little bit of lemon juice, just a bit. This is going to help with flavor and balance it out. If you were to measure it, it's about a teaspoon of lemon juice goes in there. Let's also think about adding in some salt, and you want half a teaspoon of a nice mineral salt goes in there as well. Flavor. And the last thing that's going to be really good flavor, and what I adore, is my nutritional yeast is going to go in there. So now we are fortifying this with B vitamins as well. So this is extremely good for us, and it's going to taste amazing. So that's all the ingredients that you need. Nothing more left to do than give it a little bit of a blend. Here we go. A little bit of blend. Halfway through, you might just want to give it a bit of a hand. We definitely don't want to add any liquid into this, because that's not when we put the crackers in the oven, we want them to get nice and crisp. So even though it may seem like it's a bit hard work, persevere. All right. So what you're after is a well blended bit of mixture there, well blended, but you don't have to worry about it being smooth, because it's these lovely little sort of almost, I'm not going to say chunky bits, but there's sort of, it's got a bit of a haphazard nature to it, which I really, really like, and it still cooks up really well. So just give it a bit of a stir. That is your mixture done. As I said, if you don't have one of these little processors, you can also just use a fork and mash really, really, really well. If you want to, just make sure that your cheese is well grated when you do that. All right, so that's our mixture done. We need to grab ourselves up a roasting tray with a bit of non-stick baking paper in there. I have my oven set at 150 degrees Celsius, which is moderately cool. So it's about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And we want to make our crackers now. So from this one avocado, you're probably going to get 7 to 8 crackers, which is actually it's not too bad. It's pretty decent. So taking about half to 3/4 of a tablespoon of the mixture, and just work with one at a time, plonk that down. And the secret to getting these crackers crisp is you want to get it as flat as possible. Obviously it's pretty sticky, hence why I'm not using fingers, and I'm using the back of the spoon. I'm just going to dip the back of that spoon very lightly into a bit of water, because that's going to help, but not too much, because remember, we don't want to add too much liquid because it won't get crispy. But the secret to getting really crisp crackers is to get this stage as thin as you can, and also as round as you can. You don't have to have them round, they can be rustic, but you kind of just want to take your time with this and get it sort of smooshed out a little bit, because this is literally the difference between whether you get a crispy cracker or a soft cracker. And soft crackers are not too bad. You don't have to panic, they're actually pretty good. So you want about that sort of size. See, that was with just 3/4 of a tablespoon. I'll do it one more time so you guys can see. And don't forget also, when you're doing this, to leave a bit of a gap in between, because they will spread, not too much, but they will spread a little bit. And if you can sort of try and keep it round, but you don't have to. I mean, rustic's always good as well. And if you're starting to feel frustrated with doing that, remember that little trick of just dipping the back of your spoon into a little bit of water will just help with how we're able to kind of get it smooth and get it flat and get it thin. That's the idea, getting it thin. And it can be a little bit frustrating, but I reckon you can do it. It's not too bad. And like I said, this is a bit of fun, these avocado crackers, definitely. And it's the last cracker we had Cracker Week all week in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, as you guys know. And this was the last one, the last cracker for the week, even though it's a week and one day. Starting tomorrow in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, it's air fryer week. Just letting you know in advance. All right, so that's what you're after. Obviously, you want to do as many as you can onto the sheet. You can get, like I said, 7 to 8 out of one little avocado, which is really cool. Now, what you're going to do when you filled up all your sheet, you want to pop that in the oven, and you want to cook them in the oven for 15 minutes. Yeah, set on 150 degrees Celsius. Remember, that's 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And after 15 minutes, you want to turn the tray just to make sure that it bakes really evenly. Because what you'll notice after 15 minutes is the edges will start to brown up. So you want to turn the tray, and then you want to pop them in there for a further 5 to 10 minutes. So the first round is 15, and then remember, you turn the tray, and the next round of baking is between 5 to 10 minutes. Now, the reason why I haven't given you an exact time is because firstly, every oven is different, as we know, but the other reason why I haven't given you an exact time, because it'll be all determined on how flat you can get your crackers, or how long it takes to cook. So I'm saying between 20 to 25 minutes in total will be your cracker cooking time. So here's some that I prepared earlier. Would you like to see? It's exciting. Oh, I love this moment. All right, so this is what your outcomes are going to be, and they look absolutely awesome. Check it out. Isn't that cool? So you will get these sort of brown crispy edges like that, which taste delicious. And by the way, the smell when these are cooking, especially when I cook, my first couple of batches with the Gouda, it's pretty nuts. It's got no nuts, but it's pretty nuts. Like, your house is going to smell amazing. So this is going to be your end product, and they are incredible. Now, ideally, you eat these pretty much soon after you bake them. Like, they come out of the oven, allow them to cool on the tray for about 5 minutes, and they will start to firm up a little bit once they're cooling. And then you put them onto a wire rack, and you leave them to cool there for, another 10 minutes or so, and then you literally can start munching on them. So these are really nice on their own, just as a snack. Or the way that I like to do it is if I'm doing a platter of really delicious things, like maybe there's some pickles on there, maybe there's some good, gorgeous cheese, maybe other types of crackers that we've made throughout the week, all week last week. And then you put something like this on it, it really is almost like this showstopper, because they look so cool and they taste amazing. And I guarantee you, if you make these, people will be going like, what is that? It's hard to believe that you can get one of these and turn it into one of these. It's just one of those really cool, fun things to do. Great for kids to get involved as well, because they're so good for us too, which is really, really nice. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Of course, as always, I will be sharing the PDF version of the recipe with you guys tomorrow on Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. So make sure you keep a lookout for that recipe, which is coming to you guys 6 a.m. tomorrow. It is due to be released. But of course, all this week coming up, I know it's Monday, but for the rest of the week, we are doing an epic air fryer week. We're doing all recipes coming out of the air fryer. Do not panic. If you do not have an air fryer, you can still watch these classes, because you can still cook them in your oven. So it doesn't even matter if you don't have an air fryer. But if you do have an air fryer and you want to spend a week getting immersed in everything air fryer, join me starting tomorrow. We'll be doing a wonderful zucchini and spinach fritter in our air fryer. How cool is that? That's happening tomorrow, all week here on Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. But please, I hope you can join me. If you do, that'll be amazing. I look forward to seeing you. But remember, please subscribe to my channel if you want even more amazing gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, grain-free recipes coming your way. I look forward to spending more time with you. Enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Please be safe, please be well, and I'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye.